When I first got into infrared photography, there was one thing that I really struggled with, and I didn't realize I was struggling with it until I learned to work around it. And in today's video, I'd like to go over some of the issues that people run into with their infrared photography. Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Randy Bott. I am a professional landscape and nature photographer, specializing in black and white more recently, and doing some infrared as well. And so let's get into the video. What I learned with editing infrared photography was the only thing that holds you back is your imagination. When I first started, I would see some infrared images. They were all blue sky, white foliage, black sky, white foliage. And I just thought that that is the way that infrared photography is. While I enjoyed the look, the more I got into it, the more I realized, why am I only doing blue sky, white foliage, black sky, white foliage, when what's holding me back is my imagination. It is infrared photography. Everything you're looking at is out of the visual spectrum, so learn to have fun with it. And so let's get into my computer, and I will go through a photo that I took from Chicago. This was in Millennium Park, and some of you may recognize the scene. I think it's some sort of big amphitheater or something. And then don't ask me what any of these buildings are, because I really don't know. I know the cloud gate or the bean is over that direction, not very far, 100 yards or something like that. The Willis Tower, where it used to be the Sears Tower, is back that way from this viewpoint. Now, when you open up a photo straight out of camera with the 550nm filter, this is what you're going to be looking at. Very red, some slight blue in the foliage, and this is because I use the gray card as the white balance. And this is how it should look. If it looks any different than this, then you may have a problem. What you'll see a lot of people do, and I do it too, is I'll come over here to the color tab, and I'll click the little white balance, and I'll find something that's supposed to be white. So let's just say, like, I don't know, the edge of this building here. Click that, and it'll turn a slight different color, or you could pick this blue here, and you can see it really changed. Then you're gonna do, if that's supposed to be white, you can see that it kind of goes back. Well, let's go down. So let's just reset this and let's go back to as shot. So this is how it looks, and it's very simple. So the biggest thing is don't overcomplicate it, which is what I see a lot of people do. So Adobe has a new thing up here in the profiles called adaptive color. I've tried that on my color images. It works amazing. However, in infrared, it's not. You can see it just darkens the whole thing. It just doesn't work. So avoid using that unless that's the look you're going for. So a way to start is we can go down to calibration. You can see the blue primary. If you drag it to the right, drag it to the left. Okay, let's just start with dragging it to the left. Now we can do the green primary, drag it back and forth. Okay, now we're getting more Joker-ish looking, green and purple. Now let's take the red. The red doesn't really do much, so let's just zero that out. Now let's play with the saturation. I kind of like that. Leave that. Yeah, I kind of like that. Now let's play with the red. The red's just kind of a little too much in this one. So just go ahead and leave that. Now we can come up here to light. So let's drop down the highlights a little bit, because you can see the beams here. They kind of have some little blown out sections. Increase your shadows a little bit. One thing you do need to be careful of is this area up here, where you can see this dark area. If you do too much, that'll start to get really blotchy, so just kind of pay attention to that. Now we can go down to color. The problem is if you change the color, you can see it just kind of goes all weird. So let's go back to as shot. Let's go ahead, let's go to the color mixer, and let's do the point color. Click on this. Let's kind of hit some of the yellows up here. I can drag those a little bit more orange or different. Ooh, let's go more green. Yeah, we'll go with that. Now we can go to the purple areas and go back to my color picker. Pick the purple areas. And you can see we can go a little more blue, a little more purple. Let's just start there. Now if we open this, we're up in Photoshop. Now this is our starting point. And what most people do is they come down to the channel mixer. They go the red channel minus 100. Oops, actually no, 0. And then they go the blue channel 100. Then they'll go the blue channel, set blue to 0 and red to 100. Now this is what they call channel swapping. And you can see what it did here. And the way we edit it in a Camera Raw gives it this look. But maybe let's just go to 50 in the red. And let's go, actually let's go back to the red channel and let's go 50 in the blue. Doesn't have to be 100, doesn't have to be anything. Then we can, let's change this back to 50. Now let's go back to our blue and change the blue to 50. And now we're here. You see, it just kind of got rid of some of that yellow. Kind of made it more, I don't know, lavender, I guess, and green. And like I said, you're only limited to your imagination. There is no right or wrong way to edit infrared images. And let's just say that you like this. Well, leave it at that. Now you're done. And it's like I said, it just, don't overcomplicate it. Keep it really simple. Let's say you want to add some Orton effect. I'll be honest, I don't know how to do it manually because I've been just clicking buttons for so long. So I go to the dodge and burn from the Riot Pro, click Orton effect. It'll just do, since I have a 61 point something megapixel sensor, go up to the 61.9, click OK. Let's go ahead and make it a little more contrasty with these. And there you go, done, simple, edited. Because this is the way I like it. So let's go ahead and we'll redo this completely. So I'll go ahead and close this one out. Let's go ahead and close this out without saving it. Now we'll go back up to, actually this is the one, this deep prime here. Same one, but I ran it through DxO. So let's go ahead and restore it to default. Now we're back to here. And so what I've done in the past is I've used one old program, the DNG profile editor down here. I think if you Google it, you may be able to find it. They quit making it years ago. And I created a profile for my new camera, not my new camera, my used A7R4. If I go into profile, it gives me this image. And what this did was, in that profile, I was able to drag the temperature slider all the way to the one side. I forgot, I haven't done it for so long. It's all, so I do have a infrared editing tutorial on my website. And I go through all that, how I go through all that with the DNG profile editor, set up, you know, this profile. And so now we have this. And now let's go ahead and let's do some editing again. Let's bring the highlights down a little bit to keep the blown out sections off the railings. I think our shadows are pretty good. Add a little bit of contrast. Go into effects, add a touch of dehaze. Let's go into calibration. Don't know if we want to really touch the calibration this time. So let's just go ahead and leave these as this is. All right, let's go open this back up in Photoshop. Now what a lot of people will do is go to channel mixer. Now this is where they'll do the blue channel. Go blue 0, red 100. Now we'll go to the red channel. Go red 0, blue 100. And you can see by starting from that different point, it gives us a whole new look here. But again, do we have to go 100? No. Let's go 50. And let's do 50 here. And my throat just dried out. See if I can get that fixed. Now let's go 50 on this one, and then 50 down here. Now it's a totally different look. The green I've always just kind of left alone because it just, I don't know, it just seems to do weird stuff to your images. As you can see, it just really changes the way things look. But let's go back to zero on blue. Let's zero the blue out. Bring the red back up to 100. Go to the red. Let's go red 0, blue 100. And then we can start here as our infrared image. Now let's go ahead and we can do a curves layer. And if you hold the Alt or Option key down and click Auto, it runs through like 4 different options here. So you don't actually have to try and adjust it yourself. So let's see. So I kind of like this one. Ooh, I kind of like this one better. Let's click OK. Now let's go ahead and do a hue saturation. Let's click the little hand here. Let's come down here. Let's click this. Let's increase saturation. Let's change the hue a little bit. What do we want? A little more red. Yeah, that looks good. Darken it. Did that change anything? That's not looking that great. Now let's go to the sky. We want to change the color of the sky a little bit. Back to something like that. That's kind of like the IR chrome. That's what I'm thinking about. That's kind of the IR chrome look. I think we can go ahead with that. Let's call that good. And again, done. Is this the look you're going for? Simple. Doesn't have to be blue and white or black and white. Just be whatever you want. It's only your imagination that will slow you down in your editing process. Let's redo this. Don't save this. Now let's open it up again. Where am I here? Okay, so now we are back in the Adobe Camera Raw. Now let's start going. Let's go to Color Mixer. Actually, let's just do the mixer, and then we'll click on the, what is this, eyedropper or something, a little tool. Let's go ahead and start changing the colors. Let's see, let's make these more blue. Come up into this color here. Make that a little more blue. Let's come up to the sky. We can shift this a little more yellow. Now let's go to our saturation. Let's just go crazy on this one. Let's go really yellow. Down here we can go really blue and red. All right, now let's hit our calibration. Do something similar to that. Now we're getting really strange colors. All right, let's do the shadows with this one. All right, let's go with that. Now let's go back in light. Drop highlights down just a touch. Bring up shadows. Let's bring up the whole exposure. Go to effects, add some dehaze. Like that. Now let's open this back up in Photoshop. Let's try a channel swap again. So what I'm going to do this time is Kalari Vision has a program called Clear Panel. It came out years ago. Blake Rudis and Tony G created this panel, and I bought it years ago. So I couldn't tell you what it costs now, but I know Kalari Vision has it. And like these infrared fast processing, they're just your channel swaps. And if you hold the shift key, it'll give you a slightly different look than if you don't hold the shift key. So hold the shift key, click 1. You can see it'll start running through all these different channels here. You can see that's a whole different look. And what you can do is you can look at each one of these. You click on like the swap layer, then you come up and you can see, you're in red, you can see that this IR swap layer is just a channel mixer. Just swap those. Then you can see the levels. They changed the levels a little bit. Contrast. They changed those a little bit. So you can click through and see what they actually did for each layer. And then it's like, well, you know what, I don't really like that. Let's go ahead and hold the shift key, let's click 2, and it'll delete all those and restart into infrared fast processing number 2. And this gives you a whole different look. So this is more the white foliage, blue sky. Let's do 3. And you're gonna get a different look on this than you would if you just directly brought it into this program instead of changing all the colors like we did in the Camera Raw, blue and yellow. And actually, this is the look you would get if you use the super blue filter from Life Pixels. This would be straight out of camera like this. And then let's say you like that, but you want to do something different. On top of that, you can hit the IR swap. Let's do the IR swap 1. Totally different look. IR swap 2, it'll just kind of run through 3. That's basically just reversed them, right? So many options with doing this. Then there's, you know, tones and effects down here. Then up in the infrared, you have the boost. You can boost your saturation, tones of colors. You can transform. You can do looks. So on top of this, let's say we want to do like a Bordeaux look. And I've actually found with some of these, like this Bordeaux, it's almost a little too much in certain areas. And so what I'll do is I'll just go through and just delete some of the layers that it has. So like this. So let's go ahead and, so let's see, where are we starting here? Starting from here, turn this off. And you can see as you just kind of click through it, the brightness. Actually, let's just turn this off. Turn on all these. And you can see how we go through, it'll slowly change the look of it. And you can see by getting rid of certain things, then it's okay, I don't like this glow, so let's drag this down to the garbage can and get rid of that. Now this matte finish, it didn't really do much. The brightness contrast, I added too much, so let's go ahead and drag that down and get rid of it. And then let's go ahead and get rid of some of these highlights. Now it's a little more blue. But like I said, this look for this image doesn't really work, so I'll just get rid of the whole thing. Now we're back to here. So let's try Onofrio. Don't know what Onofrio means, but we'll let it play and see what it does. So now we're in the Onofrio look, and you know it's a little too much. What we can do is let's get rid of the original layers here. Now we're just strictly the image and the Onofrio look. Let's go ahead and open up the folder here and let's see what all it did. So you can see as we just click through each channel, turning them on or off, gives us a different look to the Onofrio. Let's open up the color one. And then we can just click through and see what we like to do. So by having this panel here, it makes things very easy, very one click, and it'll just do kind of what you want. Like I said, you don't need it though. So as you see here, it's just different layers that they custom did. You know, you click on the, let's see, there's this matte one here. We click up here, you can see how they made the matte look. They brought the shadows up, brought the highlights down just a little bit, made a slight S curve. If you go to like the highlights, I think this is a solid color layer, I think is what this is. And they just added it to the highlights. So it's basically just, this panel makes everything just kind of into a one-click thing. In fact, I'll show you the difference here. If I just click the, let's just go with 3, right? Just click the 3, no shift key, it gives me this. Now let's get rid of that. Now let's hold the shift key and click the 3 again, and it gives me this. So you can see the huge difference. So by holding the shift key, like I said, I don't remember what the shift key does. It's been a long time since I've kind of went through all that stuff. So I'd like to leave it there. And as you can see, your only limitation in editing infrared photos is your imagination. Just play with them, play with the channel mixer, play with the color mixer, play with the everything. Just have fun with it and enjoy it. Like I said, I do have a 2-hour infrared editing tutorial on my website, and I go through, I think, all my filters, my 720, my hyper color, my 550, my 720, just kind of everything. So go ahead and check that out. I'll leave a link in the description to that tutorial. And like I said, have fun. Let your imagination free flow when you're editing these images. There's no right or wrong. I don't care what anybody says. Have fun with it and enjoy the process. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you get notified every Wednesday is when I upload. So go ahead and check out my previous videos about my black and whites and everything else. And thanks for watching.